All right, so this is going to be a bit of a rant on my part, right? I'm going to do a little different here. This is going to be on the topic of professional wrestling for all my wrestling heads out there, old and young, mainly old in this situation. And this is going to be based on the controversial, I guess it's controversial, comments made by the Undertaker talking about the current roster, the current product, and the softness of this generation, so to speak. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. My name is Jeff. Welcome to More Reactions. Let's get it going, man. So apparently, The Undertaker and sounds like a lot of others that agree with him think that this generation of wrestlers, this current product, this current roster, it isn't as gritty, as tough as previous generations, such as the Attitude Era, and guys from the '80s and so on and so forth. Right? That's what the topic is going on social media right now. And there's so many different areas and directions that you can go with this topic, right? He says something. I'm just paraphrasing. He says something to the effect of they're more focused, or they're on playing video games. And actually, I remember this brought me back to it was a WWE video game promo with CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin with JR as the mediator. And JR brought up the fact that he, the current roster, and I think that must have been like 2013 maybe ish. He said something to the effect of the current product, the only thing they can do better than guys from the Attitude Era in the 90s is play video games better. And I'm just like, then and especially now, like, do they not realize that the last 5 years, the roster that Vince McMahon's had the last 5 years or so is the greatest collection of talent that man has ever had in his life. Ever. As far as actual performers, actual wrestling in the ring. The amount of potential star power from the standpoint of with proper booking, proper storylines, character development. It's the greatest when the bell rings, it's the greatest roster that's ever been put together in any company in the history of professional wrestling. And as someone who's been watching wrestling since 1988, I don't know how you can debate that. Like, you may have been a bigger fan of the product back then, more into it, because there's so many more entertainment options today versus back then. People barely watching cable TV, let alone the amount of cable channels that's available. You got all these different apps, streaming apps, and YouTube and the gaming world, Twitch. Like, there's so many more options of entertainment. Social media, just in general, you can just sit on your phone and be on Facebook and IG and TikTok for hours and not even look up at the TV screen or what have you. But anyway, point is, this roster from a wrestling standpoint is better than anything that's ever been put together as far as talent. Go back and actually watch the matches from the Attitude Era. The actual matches themselves. Not the storylines, not the backstage stuff, not the promos. No, that's not what I'm talking about. The actual matches. It's a lot of trash. A lot of trash. Wrestling. Right? Now I get it. It's sports entertainment. And this generation has not been entertaining. And you can't put that on the actual performers if the actual performers don't have any input in their character development. That falls on the head of one person and one person only, and we all know who that one person is. It is Vince McMahon. It is on him why the product is the way it is right now. It is on him and him alone, because he made it that way. That's the system he created. I don't want to hear about writers. I don't want to hear about who's supposed to be putting. The man literally tears up scripts before the show goes on air and rewrites the entire script same day. The man doesn't allow the performers to create their own storylines, create their own scripts. Like they're memorizing what to say when they go on camera most of the time, and you can tell, right? Where back then in the 90s, it wasn't as corporate. It wasn't a publicly traded company. It wasn't the same money back then as it is now. It's big business now. It's different. It's a different world in general, from a PC standpoint. So you can't do the Sable in a potato sack segment in 2021, in 2020, or even in 2017, 2018. That segment cannot happen. I remember that segment as a kid. It was awesome. That can't happen now. So to say, he said something. I didn't watch. I think he had the interview with Stone Cold on the Stone Cold's podcast or whatever, and he said something like, guys used to, carry knives and guns in their backpack, and it felt tough and gritty, and they're real men back then. Where now these guys are carrying their game controllers or something. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect, basically. And I'm like, you do realize that the death rate has dropped tremendously these last few eras, if you want to call it, versus the era that you're speaking of. Dudes was dying left and right, dropping dead left and right in the 30s and 40s, man. Where now these guys are a lot healthier. They're taking better care of themselves. They're not, I'm not saying they're not on drugs, but it doesn't seem like it's performance enhancers, obviously, but maybe even not as much now as back then, and recreational drugs maybe not. It seems like not as much now as then, or they ain't going as hard if they are, because these dudes ain't dropping dead like that. So if video games are saving lives, then that's something that you should actually acknowledge as a positive. Because again, I'm not that important to entertain for somebody to just be dropping dead, bro. No one's that important to be entertained. It's worth you just dying at 35, 38, 39 years old, 42. Like, and when you know the real reason that the product is as bad as it is because of your boss, who you've gone out of your way to protect all these years as a locker room leader. It's really just disingenuous to be like, well, just do better. Get yourself over, kid. You can't, because you're not allowed to do anything. If you do go rogue, you're released the next day. It's crazy to me, man. Austin said the same thing, and I'm just like, God, when he did the interview with Vince, the brass ring crap, logic, bullshit. Let's just call it what it is. Like, Vince literally goes out of his way to sabotage individual performers if he doesn't see what others may see as star power in a person. Like, yeah, Taker he's definitely given all that he's had, all of himself to the business, and I respect that. But don't act like you're not the second or third most protected character in the history of the industry. Also, granted, I'm not saying it's not earned or deserved, but that's still the fact. That's still the case. Goldberg is another name. Hogan. Even though Goldberg, I don't know if it's true. This meme that went around. You can't trust memes that be on the internet. This shit don't be true for real. But somebody put something out there saying like it was like 7 or 8 people. 7 or 8 people total that's ever defeated Goldberg in his entire career. Like, come on, man. 7 other human beings beat this dude, and that's it. And one could say, he ain't wrestled that many years. And I guess if you look at it, he probably hasn't for real. I don't think he's had a legit. I don't think he's had 10 active years in wrestling. I have to look. I'm not about to research that for real. If one of y'all want to comment down in the comments below, let me know. But I don't think he's had. I know, like Rock hasn't had. Rock wasn't active for 10 years total. Because he arrived in 97 and he was gone by full time by 02. And then just here and there, popping up. So, yeah, that was kind of random. But anyway, yeah, but like I'll give you an example. Somebody like a Bobby Roode. Like, when I saw Bobby Roode in TNA, I'm like, when I first saw him, it was kind of the, wait a minute, was he, I don't know if they was doing I can't remember who was first, Beer Money, or when he was solo with the Road, kind of doing the Rick Rude knockoff type deal. Playoff words, basically. Rude with the double O versus, you get what I'm saying. I can't remember who was first. But I remember watching him, like, he kind of has a Triple H feel to him, in a way. It was like a mix between Rick Rude and Triple H is what I saw, right? I thought I was, I'm not special, but I ain't really hear, that many people saying the same thing or having the same thoughts. But they had that Survivor Series match and they threw up the, when they was in the ring together, do up the Spider-Man meme. So I guess, that was a known fact, but let's talk about that for a second, right? This generation's so trash or whatever. So if everyone sees Rick Rude, if everyone sees Robert Roode as a, as a not, I don't want to say Triple H knockoff because that's not fair. But his comparable is Triple H, right? What has that man accomplished on the main roster? He should have accomplished a lot, but how has he been booked since going from NXT and being champion, being a credible champion, a believable champion? That he wasn't champion long enough. I think he got called up too soon based on what they had planned for him. Clearly, like he should have just stayed down there and had matches with a bunch of guys. But he comes to the main roster and does, the fact that Johnny Gargano and Ciampa did more to get him over on the internet, on internet posts, than anybody has done with that man on the main roster. And I'm dead serious when I say that. Getting his theme song over, which, was great, right? So, but I say it to say, so basically what you got, kind of what you're telling me is, Triple H, if that's his comparable, and Robert Roode's done nothing on the main roster, then are you saying that Triple H only got to the position he's in because of Stephanie? Even though Triple H is great, Triple H is one of the greatest heels in the history of the company. Triple H is one of those matches where it's like, okay, who needs to get over? Who's the next young up and coming star that needs to get over? And they need that WrestleMania moment to become a star. That's the match you put Triple H in. That's how big and important Triple H is. That's how important his legacy is to the business. Where it's like, okay, who is Triple H gonna face, and why, right? But you're basically saying, in a way, that he only got to that spot because of his relationship with Stephanie. Because you've done nothing with someone as talented as Robert Roode. The list goes on, man. Like, how do you ruin Vince almost ruined Asuka somehow. Like, you know, she circled back around, obviously, but there's no way she should have had a WrestleMania main event match for her streak to end. That's how good and over she was. Vince almost ruined Bayley. Bayley had to turn heel to get her steam back. The genius of Vince McMahon, like, don't get me wrong, man. The man, he's accomplished 100x what I've ever accomplished in my life and ever will, probably, right? We're talking about the label, the genius label that we give him and the passes we give him because of that label. This is the area of critique that I'm hitting right now, right? And let's just be honest about it, man. How many actual stars, start to finish, has Vince McMahon created? Start to finish, meaning not accidents that just happen to get over. Hogan, Taker. I'll say Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle was just a great wrestler in general. But I'll give you Kurt Angle. You want to say Lesnar? Lesnar's just a freak of nature. I mean, if you want to say Lesnar, I guess, but I think that's more Paul Heyman, because Lesnar don't talk. And Vince just kind of let Brock do what the hell he wants. That's it. That's the list. John Cena, accident. John Cena was that you know the story. That wasn't planned. the John Cena rapper gimmick, he came up with that last minute, like on some random episode of SmackDown type stuff, and it just happened to catch fire. I think that if you want to give somebody credit, I think Stephanie gets credit for that as well. I was told, was what I heard. I think I think that might have been like her idea, which she doesn't get enough credit for, if that's the case. Rock, accident. That Rock was meant to get over, not the way it happened. He got booed out. He had Cena heat, go away heat, back in the day, because he was too whatever. Was characters too apple pie-ish or whatever, however you want to describe it. It wasn't it. He had to turn heel, and then he got over because he was pissed off, and that real energy came out with the volume turned way up, and that's how Rocky Maivia became The Rock. So that was an accident. Austin, please. He ain't create Austin. He accident. Who else is a major star? Like Batista, accident. Randy Orton was the one supposed to be start to finish. Batista was supposed to be a henchman. Let's keep going. If you want to say Ultimate Warrior, I'll give you Ultimate Warrior, I guess. I'll give you Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was trash as a wrestler. I loved him as a kid. I was a little warrior, I guess, but I should have been rooting for Ravage Rick Rude during that feud, because he was better. In every way, he was better. I should have been rooting for Jake Snake Roberts, because he was better. In every single way, he was better. Two individuals who never got a title shot, or if they did, Not a legit one. They should have been champion. Multiple times, each of them. So, I'm veering off, but the point is, I kind of lost my point. I'm so frustrated with this topic. Because it's hella disingenuous for Taker to even say something like this, man. Like it's come on, man. Like, the best roster he's ever had. Like, Kevin Owens needs to leave the company. He needs to go to AEW or New Japan and become a top tier star. Kevin Owens is a top 5 in the entire industry type talent. Period. Like, Vince did everything in his power to force Roman Reigns on us, and now we get the Roman Reigns that we should have gotten this whole time. And he's great. Dude is great. Dude is great. Great. Now, should have had this. This is the guy we should have had since the initial, the moment he got booed out of the building when he won the Roman match. This is the Roman Reigns we should have gotten. That would have justified everything. You literally, y'all can say what y'all want, man. The man did everything he could to sabotage Daniel Bryan twice. Tried to sabotage the man. The fact that Vince actually thought WrestleMania 30 should be Daniel Bryan against Sheamus. I don't like. All right, man. And then we can't clear you. But you clear Edge at his advanced age, and okay. All right, like you sacrificed Daniel Bryan's prime years to get Roman Reigns over, and I don't care. Listen, y'all can't tell me anything different, bro. Soft, okay. Like, come on, man. Like, Taker, man. The only thing I'll give Vince credit for this is AJ Styles. I'm still to this day, I'm stunned. I'm stunned that he let dude come in and he let him be great. Because you know how Vince is with outsiders. I'm stunned. But it just goes to show, like, it seems like with AJ, he kind of let AJ be AJ. And I'm like, why don't you do this to anybody else? I don't know, man. Y'all tell me, like, am I off base? Like, listen, I'm not saying, like, listen. To me, it's all about the storylines and the booking. It's trash. It's trash. Like, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, man, dude, like, he's had his career crumbled and put in shambles like multiple times when he's the. You haven't needed Taker for a while. Once you got Bray Wyatt, he was the one. He was the replacement. He was the one. You had that man lose it. John Cena, God bless John Cena. I can't believe, like, it's funny to say that. John Cena almost killed Bray Wyatt's career, but he damn sure revived it. That Firefly Funhouse match, like, y'all keep talking about that Boneyard match, which was cool. Y'all talking like that was just, match. That match, I mean, it was fun. But the Firefly Funhouse match literally saved that man's career. it almost validated the whole Cena not turning heel situation, which is another conversation as far as bad booking that we could talk about on Vince's part, because merchandise sales. Like, John Cena heel turn, bro. Like, how Vince has deprived us from so much, man, from so much greatness, and y'all keep giving this dude a pass. Like, give the keys to Triple H, please. The man, like, he took that trash of a beginning that you did with NXT, trash, gave him the keys. You left the room, and he made it the most watchable product in the industry. Those takeover shows, bro, the takeover shows, especially the early ones, like, come on, man. Like, I don't even want to see dudes move up to the main roster. I don't want Adam Cole, Undisputed Era on the main roster with Vince in control. Are you fucking kidding me? What do you think? Vince is gonna look at Adam Cole and be like, "Yeah, kid, you need a steak." Like, I don't want people on the main roster. I don't trust Vince with Bianca Belair. Don't give me it's talking about as far as making stars. Don't give me don't talk that Becky Lynch shit to me, because that was an accident also. Jay White is a free agent. Vince, y'all really think Vince gonna do something with Jay White coming from New Japan? Really? How do you ruin Shinsuke Nakamura? You're trying to do whatever now, but that Dolph Ziggler was great. You ruined you don't go from having one of the biggest Raw moment pops, title win pops ever, to absolutely being getting like X-Pac type go away heat. Like, not even X-Pac heat, because it just be quiet now with Dolph. Like, nobody wants to go. Like, you ruined that man. And Dolph Ziggler, from a in-ring wrestling standpoint, storytelling in the ring standpoint, you could have given him, if you don't want to say WrestleMania main event, you could have given him that. You could have given him a Triple H WrestleMania match, and you could have did the whole can't win the big one storyline with him, with Triple H. That had been perfect in 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. Perfect. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that soft shit, man. Like, if video games are saving these dudes' lives, probably from the mental anguish of knowing that you're better than these dudes in the past. They're better performers, but yet they don't get the freedom to be stars because everything is so scripted. Y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all agree or disagree. What's your take on what I'm saying? I think it's just way off base with that statement. Like, I get it, yeah, it was obviously better. The crowds are better. The crowds make everything better, right? But you gotta have good writing, man. You gotta have good storylines. You denied the fans of a John Cena heel turn that we craved for. You buried the greatest roster you've ever had to try to get one man in Roman Reigns over, and you let Brock Lesnar do whatever Brock Lesnar wanted to do. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, go look at, come on, man. I'm trying to think, besides Charlotte, Sasha, I mean the you didn't even give us the Horseman versus Horseman War Games match, but you brought back War Games, but the reason why we thought of War Games was for that particular match, but we're not gonna do that because the two other girls aren't ready, dude. This ain't gonna be about a 5-star technical skill match. It's just make it a War Games type feel, street fight type match. Just give people what they want, man. Anyway, I'm done. I'm out. Just let me know what y'all think. Catch me in the next video. I got some other items of interest that I want to get off my chest. So new videos be popping up real soon. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you like and subscribe. Get you guys later. Peace out.